guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, welcome back everyone to Anonymous Bites Back. Today was Julian Assange's birthday, his 50th birthday, so there were protests all over the world. I think it was
54 cities, Alex Hills just told us when we were live on Slow News Day about a half an hour ago. She said 54 cities in 20 countries, right?
Yeah, 20 countries.
13 individual actions in Germany. Yeah. Give yourselves a gigantic fucking round of applause. That is solid.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
In New Zealand, I think she said it was either 7 or 9 in America, 3 in Brazil, and that's all what I can remember from what she told us with the limited time she had in the chat. But obviously London went absolutely ham. We were up in Echo Park in Los Angeles. There was even the small crew in Tulsa did their thing again. There was something in Australia. Was there something in Australia?
Oh yeah.
Guys, before we go into details, I have to ask. I have to request something from the listeners, right? Because for some reason, of course, because this is like a special day for Assange, we are all fully shadow banned. I checked all the accounts again. Everything is shadow banned. So if you're listening to this and you're sharing this show, please use a quote tweet. Put like a small little message of your own above it. Then we circumvent the shadow bans, because otherwise normal people are really not going to see our show. They're not. It just won't show up in the search for them. So for our followers and stuff, they will all see it, but normal people won't. So make please like a quote tweet, and because this is an important defense, and this is for an innocent man who is facing 175 years in jail. Yeah, you have to realize that.
Oh, and Twitter, fuck you.
Yeah, because this is so
Yeah.
unrespectful, and the fact that Jack, who was once long ago a cypherpunk, he was on the mailing list and he was involved with Assange long ago, and now to sell people out like this is fucking disgusting.
And
The
fuck
same.
you, Jack. Fuck you and your Bitcoin bullshit, because you're not about freedom of press or freedom of information or anything that decentralization actually has. To
Fucking
do with.
traitor, that Jack guy. Like
Yeah,
seriously.
eat a dick, Jack.
Yeah. Because they betray everything they stood for. Like, he wasn't on the cypherpunk mailing list. He knows everything about all these things, and now he's into Bitcoin
Of
himself.
course.
And yeah.
But he would know. He would know that Tim May and fucking Hal Finney and all of those guys over at the Cypherpunks are who created Bitcoin. So, I mean, like, eat a dick, Jack. That's all I got to say. Eat a fucking dick.
I just disgust me, this stuff, because now, like, you literally on these special days, like, you celebrate the 50th birthday. I mean, this guy is innocent. Everyone knows that, and it's like, yeah, it's disgusting. But okay, so anyway,
Check that out. Check that link that I just sent in the chat, because it'll just show how much they're fucking with my account.
I know they're fucking with your account, but I mean, like, I checked all the accounts we're involved with, like the ABB account, my own accounts. It's all the same
Is
thing.
that
It shows Glory's account, and
know-
it says that I'm not following her, even though I am.
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, that's what they do too. They remove your they make it seem that you're not following
Yeah.
them, and then they
They
hope the
literally-
person.
It's like brand new thing. It's a brand new thing. It came out of nowhere. That all of a sudden, when you go to look at accounts that you're following, or at least for me, some of the accounts it'll just say not following anymore, and then I click following, and then it says unfollow the account. It's like the weirdest fucking bug ever.
No, it is a psyops thing because people think that you unfollowed them and they unfollow you, right? You lose followers over it. So that's the thing. It's just psyops, and I've seen it in the past with myself too. They did this, so, and I actually lost some followers over that too, like because I had like a very large account, and then you notice it because it doesn't go in like 5 or 6 people. It goes into hundreds of people, and that
Yeah.
then you start
they
noticing.
do like these unfollow sprees type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly, yeah, it's fucking insane, man. Yeah, and you're right, it is a psyop. Anyway, let's jump back into the updates of the protests and everything. So you guys were actually down on the ground for a protest for Assange, so give us an update, tell us how everything went.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty well. We started, we had,
50.
yeah,
50 people.
yeah, and then, there were also, basically we got there, okay, Steve said 50, maybe 60, and we got there, pasta started barbecuing, got people fed, and then after that, me and a couple people went to the intersection of Glendale and Park, which was notably the site of a police staging when they pushed out activists and journalists trying to defend the sweep of the Echo Park encampment, which is no longer there. There were fences around Echo Park the whole time, which is just so draconian to me. And then also, there was like this kind of market deal that was happening. So we were there, interacted with the people, stood across the street from them, yelled at them too. Well, not yelled at them, but like, spread the word about the case, and got some pretty good reception there, especially because especially when you're able to relate it to issues that are pertinent to LA, you're gonna get some good reception. Like one thing that I talked about was the literal staged bombing that LAPD just did, gathering a bunch of fireworks and then detonating the shit. But yeah, and we came back, and then we had we had a couple speeches, said some words there, had some awesome people come up to speak, and then after that we sang happy birthday to Julian and had our cake, which came with an American flag, and then we smeared that and got a and added a little bead necklace clover and made it our own beautiful scuffed cake. And so we sang happy birthday, had some cake, and then just chatted some more. It was really awesome to see how many people, like how many normies were engaging with us, because there were a couple that just walked over and wanted to talk to us. At one point there was even this group of kids where like the girl wanted to come up and say something. Don't know her name, but she wanted Zoe, but she really wanted to say something. And then there was an extended conversation that our boy Marcus had with a lady while we were at the street corner across from the market. And yeah, just a lot more instances like that. I think obviously I always wish these events were bigger, but one thing that I really really liked was the amount of people I think we reached today.
And your cake looks like it was stepped on.
Oh, yeah. I think it's beautiful.
It's art. Don't hate.
I'll bring it
It still looks like there's a giant fucking boot print in your cake. That's all I got to say.
Well, the facts are is that's not what happened. So, there. Look at the cake, guys.
Tell me that does not look like a boot print.
Bro,
Like Steve,
at least they have a fucking cake for Assange. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, I agree, but it still looks like a boot print. It still looks like they stepped on it. Would have been a good touch, you know, because it was the American
Agreed.
flag and everything, you know. Yeah.
Agreed. If it ever has to happen again, we're not letting Johnny Buttons design the cake. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. We grew a little today, AK. We did. We're a little wiser. There's so many different ways you could take any and all of this, and it boils down to the fact that, like, on the day before the United States Independence Day, the man responsible for some of the freest press we have had in our nation's history is being held in solitary confinement in a UK prison without charges, waiting to see if an appeal will go through on an extradition case that he won, but he's still in prison without charges because the judge disallowed bail again after she ruled against the U.S. on his extradition on the grounds that the prison conditions were would be what led him to commit suicide. So just go ahead and stay in prison.
Yeah,
23 and a half hours a day. No, there won't be any house arrest for you.
Yeah.
No, there's no other way we can work around this. You just indefinitely stayed detained because here in the land of the free, we've got some platitudes to make and some other journalists to incarcerate and target. By the way, the Biden administration has gone to war against everyone that was able to avoid prosecution the last time Joe Biden was anywhere near the fucking White House.
Yep.
Because Commander X is in prison on the eve of Independence Day after his refugee status, protected asylum status, was violated and he was removed from Mexico to face a 10-year-old, 12, 11-year-old allegation on a computer prank that happened on a Saturday afternoon for a half an hour. It was publicly announced that there's no actual way to prove that X was responsible for that.
Well, yeah, it's the equivalent of a digital protest. It's a DOS attack. I mean, it's not even a DDoS attack. I don't think. Well, I mean, around that time period, it could have been a DDoS attack because they pissed off a lot of people with that whole moving people out of the homeless encampment and the homeless spikes that were going on at that time. They put homeless spikes up in parks and on sidewalks and shit at one point in time. And you know what? If Anonymous didn't strike back at that it would still be going on.
Oh yeah, no, and it's not in Santa Cruz. All of the measures that they roll out against the homeless have been increasingly nightmarish. And as soon as I get back, because I've basically been gone for the last week and a half, on the Home Run for Julian tour, as well as organizing this event here in LA today, and the moment I get back, I'm meeting with Keith McHenry, Food Not Bombs, also a friend of X, and we're going to organize our first protest for Commander X, which is going to take place July 20th, the day of his court date. We're going to hold events at the courthouse in San Jose and at the spot of the staged protest in Santa Cruz. We will have more information about that here in a few days. I get back on Monday. I'm going to meet with him more or less straight away, and we'll have some stuff out about it, a press release and all that kind of thing. But we would really appreciate solidarity actions wherever it is you are, wherever you may be listening. It would be a key if you chose a Mexican consulate or embassy, U.S. consulate or embassy to hold your event at, but I ain't trying to tell you how to party.
Well, it's a good point. Hey, you should probably mention that you're also working on a documentary thing.
I am, in fact, working on a documentary. I will probably, at some point down the road, have to elicit a little financial support to complete the editing process. There are a couple of people who have said that they would help me, but they're going to want to get paid. Or I can buy the editing software and throw it on the computer that's sitting in my studio that I need to get a replacement hard drive for and haven't been able to do. And do it my damn self. Either way, I'm going to require some support for that, which sucks, but that's how it is. I'm, using the show to fund the activism to be able to do shit like this. So that's where we're at. And I'm moving, so it's going to be a hectic month anyway. But July 20th, noon on the West Coast, Free Commander X protest. And that's something that I want to focus on pretty much straight away. Yes, documentary is going to get edited. I need to check people that were filming at other home run events, and I think it'll be good. I really do. I think we got some good stuff. And yesterday, before I flew back from DC, got to hang out at the glassblowing studio of one of the DC organizers. Got to have an extended conversation that we filmed with him. So big shout out to Josh Davis. And thank you, Josh Davis, for helping put together such an excellent event at the Department of Justice on July 1st to conclude the Home Run for Julian tour. Shout out to Jordan Renee. And to Paula Azalea, Paula Azalea, that Suzette maybe from Assange Defense, or from the Boston chapter, Misty, Comrade Minday, and yeah, everyone else just showed up for that. Nathan Fuller from Assange Defense turned out for that, drove down for New York. Uh, Max Blumenthal spoke. Lee Camp spoke. I'm gonna forget people. Anya Parampil spoke. Ben Norton did, maybe did not. I don't know. Some Code Pink people were there. The last DC event was wonderful. I don't know if you guys got to see this or not. AK, I don't know if you saw this. Oh, and Franco, big shout out to Franco, and I got to hang out with Franco at the studio as well, and record some footage from there. Franco's been integral in making those DC events happen. AK, did you see the presentation of the engraved bats that Misty had done up for John and Gabriel?
No.
So, because it was the home run for Julian Tour, Misty had this idea where I'm gonna give these motherfuckers a baseball bat. So she did, and she had it engraved with the home run for Julian, graphic, and a list of all the cities they went to, and then Julian's quote about crushing the bastards. And it's so fucking cool. So we gave them the bats and the WikiLeaks flag at the same time, in the hopes that that Julian will get the flag more or less immediately. It will be at least his kids will be in possession of it.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I knew nothing about that, to be honest. I haven't been following everything. I've been very busy, so it's impossible for me to follow everything. I know you guys are doing a lot of really good work, and that Misty's doing really good work, and who's that other one? Well, there's a whole list of people that are doing really good work for Julian, and these protests around the world, from each city and each chapter and everything. But yeah, I haven't been able to keep up with it all, or I haven't been able to follow up with any of it.
That's kind of a good thing. A lot's happening.
Well, yeah, a lot is happening, but I mean, I've been so busy just working myself and everything. I haven't been able to follow up and keep up with everything going on. The tweet storms for X and everything, I haven't even been able to keep up with those because I've been so busy.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah. I mean, we want there to be so much actions happening around for Julian, though. That it's hard to keep up, because that was ultimately the goal, was to have a bunch of decentralized actions popping up and taking place all over the world. So hopefully that just keeps building and building up until we have, a real tangible public pressure campaign that forces these people to act, because we need to.
I mean, he's dying in prison. I mean, there's no other way to say it, and it pains me to say that because of Stella and Julian's kids and everything, but he is literally fucking dying in prison, and it's horrible to see, and it's insane to think that. I believe Julian went into the embassy in his late 30s, and now he's in his 50s. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Mark.
Not too correct there. I'm here.
Did you hear what I said? Correct me if I'm wrong or not, but I think Julian went into the embassy in his late 30s, and now he's in his 50s.
And he spent his 40th birthday on house arrest.
Yeah.
And it was immediately after. That's when he was in process of seeking asylum. So
okay, so it was his 40s then. I thought it was late 30s.
Well, it's close. I mean, he just became 50, and it is.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because I saw Jara Prilla tweet it out yesterday.
Okay, I stand corrected then, but I thought I personally thought that it was in his late 30s that he was in the embassy.
Or you
And
might be a year off. I mean, it's either like 39 or 40, I guess. But I mean, bottom line is he's been like locked up for like a decade now, right? An embassy and in
right,
jail. So
yeah, that's what I was trying to convey. That I was trying to convey. It's been fucking like long time. Since he's been even detained, like since he was detained in that embassy, and kind of basically trapped, and then they move him from an embassy, being trapped in the embassy, you know, not able to go outside or anything, to a prison, and walls with a prison where, you know, he what's he get, like a few hours a day outside or something like that now.
1 or 2 hours
I
in the
think
UK.
it was. Yeah, it was like 1 to 2.
Yeah, but I discussed this with Doctors for Assange on the air in the past. Like we were discussing that whole psychological torture thing, right? And because they're always keeping, they're always saying like it's just psychological, he isn't hurt by it and stuff. But we actually discussed this and we researched a bit into it, and like psychological or stress gives you this stress hormone, right? That cortisol stress hormone, and it actually attacks your brain functions.
Well, I mean, not to mention there's the fact that he had several medical conditions from the embassy that went untreated because he didn't receive the proper care. So that results in a lot of pain. Plus, you had the fact that once he's in Belmarsh, you know, he was without a doubt physically tortured. I mean, he damn near froze throughout the entirety of winter because they simply just kept his clothes in storage. So, yeah, it wasn't just kind of psychological torture leading into physical torture. It was physical torture as well.
Yeah, I'm just mentioning it because I want to make sure that people understand that this psychological torture is actually physical torture, because the stress hormone cortisol attacks your brain function but also reduces your muscle tissue, right? And the fact that he is in a cell, only able to like be out of it for like an hour, means like he can't restore his muscle tissue. So he is physically being hurt by it, losing muscle tissue, losing brain capacity. And we saw the results at the court case where he wasn't even able to like remember his own birth date in court.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a guy with like an extremely high IQ, right? Who went through documents on his own, like huge documents. And
that doesn't make sense. Like that doesn't make sense at all. It kind of seems like he's drugged when you can't remember your own birth date.
Well, I know at least he's drugged with this cortisol hormones that your body creates when you're under this stress, and it attacks your brain. And if that is the effect that really has, if we argue that there's not some other drug or something involved, like maybe you're right about that. But I mean, if that's the effect, then we know that he's physically being tortured. We have proof of that. And I have 2 doctors confirming that on air with me, from Doctors for Assange.
Because inducing somebody with stress, right? Well, you can induce somebody with enough stress to cause problems with their brain, and it'll also lead to migraines and headaches and all that fun stuff. And if somebody has a bad enough induced stress, you can also have them lead to having dizziness as well. I mean, so yeah,
I've probably blacked out from it this year. I lost a couple of minutes one day.
Yeah, somebody basically black out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did. I lost a couple of minutes. I fucking just stood up and then opened my eyes and sat back down in my chair, and it was like several minutes later. I have no fucking, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the reality of using psychological torture. There's many things you can do with psychological torture, right?
An extended conversation with a young activist today at the event about organized stalking and the like number of different targeted actions that our intelligence agencies take in order to torment individuals and the myriad neurological and stress-inducing, I guess, approaches in order to destabilize a human being
Right.
that are taken.
Right, and also to get information out of people. And I don't doubt for a second that they haven't tried to get information out of Julian and use some type of truth serum drug. Don't doubt for a second.
Oh, 100%. We go check out Undy for a minute. I'll be back.
So we're shadow banned so fucking hard. Like we have like 11 watching. People, if you're watching this, please share this around seriously from your own account. Just post the YouTube link, make like your own post because this is definitely not working. It's like
okay. And we have 15 currently watching on Rockfin. So doing better over there than on FedTube, but we need more. So yeah. And as y'all know, they are always going to shadow ban us more around our events.
Mhm.
So yeah. I mean, it was right before.
Every time one of these events happens, right? They take out several accounts, but the accounts that they target are mostly admin accounts, and specifically Mark's account is one of the biggest ones that they take out. And not trying to make myself seem more important than I am, but they also target my account for whatever fucking reason. I don't know if they think that I have like the insurance file on Julian or something, but I don't. Surprise! I have insurance files on other people, but not.
just
Julian.
don't say that kind of stuff. You're going to be shadow banned even more. Don't show your cards.
I show my cards so they can leave me alone, and leave the other people alone that have trusted me with those insurance files in case they do drop dead. And I don't have John McAfee's file either, so just in case.
You don't have John McAfee's file? I thought we all had that secretly stashed away.
Yeah, no, I have some really bad dirt, but no, I don't have that.
Well, no, like so, and this becomes like super obvious now that they are doing it all the time during the Assange fans, and it becomes like kind of sad to be honest.
Remember when we were live streaming outside the embassy right before they dragged him out? They started censoring your account. I remember that, and right before the big hearing at the court, they censored your account. Right.
Well, I was censored during my entire stay in London. Like my post didn't show up in anything, and then when that court thing was kind of done, then everything was normal again.
It's really fucking insane. It's insane, man. It's really fucking insane. They are watching us so hard. Like, hi guys.
Yeah, but like, listen, you don't have to care about me. You don't have to care about me or about us. It doesn't matter to me. Like, it really doesn't matter. We will get our stuff out. But what does matter is that normal people don't realize this is going on, and that they're all being treated like this behind the scene.
That's what I'm saying. They censor us because we had a voice, or had it. Yeah, I should say had a voice. Well, they censor us because we had a voice, and we were using that voice to bring attention to everything going on with Assange. That's why.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And but we are used to this stuff already. We've been like talking with it for so long now already. I've been dealing with it with the whole ACTA 2 thing too. They used to do it.
They censored you for that too. The day of the vote, they censored you. I remember that.
Yeah. And then the vote was done. It was complete. The vote was done. It was instantly. Like it was minutes after the vote was done. I was taken off shadow ban. Like, why don't you just wait like 2-3 days to not make it so obvious to me? Like, I don't get it. But they're throwing it in our faces too. Like, yeah, we're doing this to you.
No,
you can't do shit about it.
It's like it's like that leak report that came out talking about how Twitter was working with the government to censor individuals. It's literally like the government sends them a list of people to censor on a certain day, and then they comply and do it, and then then they turn the accounts back on.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. That's how it seems.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the. But I think Twitter's actually the worst with this too. At this point, it's actually worse than any other platform. Like I hated Facebook, and Facebook is really bad. But
Oh yeah,
Twitter is even worse now, I think, or it's just as bad.
Twitter's worse. Twitter's
It
worse
might
because
actually be.
Yeah.
Twitter is worse because they try to say that they're not doing it, and they are, and they're doing it to such an extreme degree that it's obvious. And Jack is a old cypherpunk. He used to have what was it, blue or purple hair? What was it? One of the two. I remember I'd seen a fucking picture of him.
He was on the mailing list with Assange. He was with the cypherpunks. He was involved with creating this whole revolution, cypherpunk revolution, into cryptocurrency, into disseminating alternative ways the truth in the media and stuff. And now, what is going on with this guy? Like, you become a billionaire, you become like some kind of like fucked up. Go ahead.
I feel like you have to sell some portion of your soul to become a billionaire.
I wanna just say, like, Jack, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you don't control your company anymore, because I know you don't. And that there's other people here at play that are causing these shadow banning stuff and all of that that is involved in Twitter. But I mean, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what the legal implications would be if you were a CEO and you said that I'm not doing the shadow banning stuff, but all of my admins are. I mean, but the shadow ban tools exist, and when the hackers had hacked Twitter and made it so all these famous accounts were posting about send me Bitcoin, they leaked in the aftermath. They leaked a dashboard that is on my backup account, pinned right there. Well, it's right there in the display. Not avatar. What's it called? Header image. Right there in the header image is the leaked dashboard that everybody was getting banned for posting, and I just put it right there in my my header, because I was like, all right, well, if they're gonna ban people for this, I'm just gonna put it right there in my header. So yeah, I mean, we know that the shadow ban tools exist on Twitter, and we know the extremes to what they exist. And like you said, Twitter is worse than Facebook, in my opinion, at this point. I mean, at least Twitter's not labeling people extremists and saying you may be friends with an extremist. Like, what the fuck? What is that Orwellian shit? Like, what the hell is that? You guys saw that?
Yeah.
There's so much fucked up.
That's some Nazi shit, man. That's like that.
Report your friends for extremist behavior.
Yeah, I mean, that's seriously some like Nazi stuff. I mean, like, report your friends for extremist behavior. Like, it's like, yeah.
Well, it's literally Nazi stuff. It's what the Nazis did. Yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't say extreme behavior. I forget what it was, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So Twitter at least is not like listening to your webcam or to your microphone and stuff, and like watching you on webcam yet. But they are definitely censoring you, in maybe even a worse ways than Facebook. And so, yeah, they are like obsessed with controlling the entire narrative. Like.
Yup.
I'm not sure why this is. Because they don't have to. Twitter doesn't have to do this, right? They don't have 2 billion users like Facebook. They have to grow still. They have to make it popular to people, attractive to people. So they shouldn't actually do this. Like, it would make sense to from like, if they're like really looking to create a big narrative thing, that they would wait until they have like 2 billion users too. But they're like ruining their own platform right now. It's going to collapse like this. People are not going to like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite insane, to be honest. And, I really don't know.
Yeah, I know a little bit about it. He has this huge, like, if you would make a theory about why is he so anti-Assange now suddenly, well, there are some big investors from the Saudi Arabia area, and there is a lot of leaks on WikiLeaks in regards to Americans and the Saudi Arabia in the Middle East. But yeah, that's really it. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Twitter is the largest investor in Twitter is Saudi Arabia. It's
the Saudi prince.
Saudi prince.
When the U.S. was about to go to war with Iran, literally the freaking president of Syria's Twitter account was suspended right around that convenient time, just when the U.S. was trying to go to war with Iran at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they gave. Yeah, so I'm not sure if they gave Jack the order to silence people about that stuff. I don't know, maybe. It's a theory.
I don't think it's like I said. I want to give Jack the benefit of the doubt and say he has nothing to fucking do with it, because like he really wouldn't have to have anything to do with it. You know, like they have an admin panel. They have senior admins that work on that stuff. Jack doesn't care about that shit. He does his own thing. He's running a company, right? He's not running the under admin portion of things. He's just running the actual company itself. So I mean, would he fucking know what every day what his admins do? No. And that's the problem. The problem is like these overpowered, abusive admins that can all of a sudden just ban an account. There's no oversight to that. There's none. They have the ability to silence the account. They have the ability to mute the account. They have the ability to boost the account. They have the ability to permanently suspend the account. Nobody else decides